bounce, pass, pass, kick, pass, dunk it,
What?
funk it,
Sure.
serve it, here, work it, jocular. We're about to get jocular.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to Jocular.
My name is ER Fightmaster. I use they, them pronouns.
My name is Tian Tran. I use she, her.
And I'm Katie Kershaw, and I use she, her pronouns.
You guys, huge news.
Say it. Drop
Say
it.
Drop.
Well, we've got a new stadium in Kansas City that is dedicated to women's sports.
Woo!
And it's the first
First
in
of
the
its
nation,
kind.
right?
First of its kind.
It's pretty intense. It's a beautiful stadium.
It is really beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, just the videos of players going in the locker room for the first time
I know.
was making me tear up.
It shows a massive investment in women's sports to have this happen. This stadium cost $117 million. Its capacity is 11,500.
It sold out all of its season tickets.
That is crazy.
That is
I think almost
insane.
immediately.
So a lot of other NWSL teams have to rent their stadiums or they use the men's facilities.
Which has to cost a lot of money.
I'm sure. Though, I mean, that's why the
Yeah.
Angel City home opener moved from Saturday, which it was originally supposed to be, to Sunday.
Because of LAFC?
Because of, I think some other event was happening as well.
God, don't you remember?
Stop.
I don't know. I remember growing up, and I remember that there were. I remember multiple cities where sports were not the priority, or there was only one stadium in town, and it would be you could see the baseball diamond on the football field, or it would be the WNBA team was playing on the same place where they had hockey, and it was just all these sports that had multifunction. But there's something really lovely and established about a stadium being dedicated to a team.
It's so cool. You were saying that the locker rooms, they're
Yeah.
really beautiful and
That's awesome.
huge.
They're huge.
They're huge. I saw one player, there was a video of one player running around in a circle, and I was like, I think that's a lap around a track.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also saw that even before the Kansas City Current had a game, that there was a lesbian proposal.
I couldn't handle it. Yeah.
Wow.
It is the best. It's the best thing.
I don't know if I want to push this information to the audience. I hear people talk all the time about how hard it is to date in real life, to date offline. There is not a bigger gay club in the world than a women's soccer event.
I couldn't agree more.
Bro, it is so freaking popping. If you go to one of those
Yes.
events and you don't walk home married, kind of weird, kind of on you. You gotta check in with self, bro.
I mean, they're not lying because it is to me, it's like Pride it's like the Pride Parade every day.
Yeah. The very first Angel City game I went to, my girlfriend and I were waiting on our friends to show up. So we were just getting a drink at one of those little outdoor bar situations. And these two women were sitting by us and they've been together for over 30 years. And they were just oh, she's always dragging me to these games, but she made sure we got seats with free wine, so I don't care. And how they
That's so
commuted
fucking romantic.
Orange County.
It's so romantic.
Orange County to Pasadena for the first 10 years. They just loved each other and they didn't mind the commute. I am so in love with those women, and truly my partner and I were just oh my God, we need to find them every game. I've never seen them again. Maybe they were angels.
Every time I go to a women's sporting event, no matter who I bring, I tell them that they're my girlfriend.
For today, I'm
For the day. I literally, Anthony Hale, he is an actor on Grey's. I fucking love that guy. And he brought me to my first Angel City game.
Mhm.
And I had just texted him about going to a game. And I was like, you have to agree, though, that when we're there, you're my girlfriend. Because I'm not, you know what I mean? Sorry.
It's not safe otherwise.
It's not safe.
No, it's not safe.
And
Not
it's
safe.
It's not
too
safe.
romantic not to have a girlfriend there.
That's right.
It is too romantic.
It's too romantic.
Oh my gosh. One time, my wife and I went to a soccer game.
I love it when you say my wife.
Sorry, I am.
It's hot.
It's fun.
Sorry, my wife.
There we go.
My wife and I went to a soccer game, and they were doing at halftime a Grease sing along. Summer Love. Okay, wait.
my
It's
God.
at Angel City, okay? And they were doing Summer Lovin'.
Summer loving.
Loving.
They were doing the season of Summer Loving. And you know how they bounce around for the Jumbotron onto different people singing? Like, it'll like be children. It'll be like,
Yes.
they landed on this amazing dyke that sang the entire end of the song.
Stop.
And the way the crowd cheered when she finished at the end of like, the summer
Fuck yeah.
night. And the crowd, the whole stadium lost their minds. And my wife got verklempt, and like I think I started tearing up at this just like amazing, like, what other stadium like would stay on a dike singing Summer Nights, singing John Travolta's part?
No, if you were at a cis het sporting event,
They wouldn't do that.
what they would do is they would point the camera on on a hot woman and a hideous man. And they would point it so long that she'd be like, fuck. and then she'd have to kiss him. Or she wouldn't kiss him and everyone would go, boo.
Or they do the thing where they're like, my
brother.
brother.
And then they find like a truly like awkward little kid that the cameraman is obviously bullying, but we all have to rally behind this little kid that's now like fully just like on the Jumbotron. They're like, oh, look, he's mad. It's like, no, so many adults are making fun of him.
Yes. You know that like classic, you see there's so many stories of it. One of the ones that's the most famous is the story of the Boston Red Sox fan who caught the baseball over the defensive player at that MLB game.
Yes.
And the whole crowd like throws hot dogs at him and basically like physically assaults him. He has to get escorted out of the stadium. You know what would never happen? That at a women's sporting event.
Never.
100% not.
Never.
100% not.
Oh, I can't wait for Angel City games this summer.
We're going to have so much fun there.
I played in it was called Duncan Dykes, and it was this Dutch basketball league. And we played on Pride. And if you fouled another player, you had to kiss to make up.
Okay, this is amazing.
And
amazing.
If anybody in the NWSL wants to talk to me, I have ideas. Like, I have ideas about how we can move forward.
Yeah, that's just one.
That's just
one.
That's just one.
And if it's a big foul, you gotta make out.
And don't get me started if it's a big guy.
If it's a big foul. Yeah, we can't even put that on TV.
Yeah, we can't even put that on.
No, we cannot even put that on TV. And the crowds grow and grow and grow every single year.
No, I mean, I think Angel City's season, like,
That's a beautiful stadium.
It is a beautiful stadium, and Angels.
It doesn't feel like I'm at the men's stadium either.
It doesn't.
They do a really good job of that.
No, they really turn it around.
Do you remember your first women's soccer game?
Yeah, it was Angel City.
It was.
Yeah.
Mine was Portland Thorns.
Mine was for the NWSL or just in general.
NWSL.
Mine was Chicago Red Stars out at Toyota Park.
Cool. How was it?
It was really fun. It was just really far away.
Yeah.
Was there anyone there?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Which was kind of like a bummer. I love now that all of these games, it's packed.
ER and I did a phenomenal interview with ESPN's own and ESPNW's own Susie Piotrkowski, where we're going to dig into all of this. TN was not there. It was important for her to be with her family.
Oh my God, Tian.
I will say while I was gone that I did get my 4-year-old niece, who is not, her parents do not like sports. By the end of the week that I hung out with her, she was asking to watch Caitlin Clark, 4-year-old. Asking to watch the Iowa basketball game. So I think I did work. I was doing work.
No, you did work.
You're spreading the good word.
I was spreading the gospel.
And you did that work due to the groundwork that was laid by Susie.
Yeah. Yeah, let's hear from Susie now.
Jocular. Get jocular.
Hello, and welcome to Jocular. And our guest today is
Susie Piotrkowski, and I couldn't be more excited to be here.
We are legitimately so excited to have you. Susie is the Vice President of Women's Sports Programming and ESPNW for ESPN. And I'm a big fan of Susie's. I met Susie at the WNBA All-Star game in Vegas. Was it this year?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and I cannot wait to ask you some of the questions that we've got for you today. But I'm going to start with, how would you describe what you do at ESPN?
I'm responsible for building the ecosystem that surrounds women's sports, the culture that surrounds women's sports, and generally building the business of women's sports.
That's unreal.
Well-
How did you get here?
It's been a trip. Well, so I've worked my whole career in the sports industry, and candidly, I always thought I'd work in men's sports. And in 2017, I worked in sports agency world. I worked for Fenway Sports Management, the Boston Red Sox. And I around 2017, I transitioned full-time into women's sports. And I led sponsorship sales for the NWSL. And if I'm being like very transparent, I was tired of exclusively making rich white men richer. I wanted to kind of be part of something that had the ability to be transformational, incredibly impactful. And selfishly, there were very few people working in the business of women's sport at the time. And I bet the house on it. And I looked at my wife and I said, if this works, which I think it will, I want to be at the forefront of it.
So talking about how you got here, I want to back up even further. So where did your love of just sports begin? You were a player growing up?
Well, I'm gay.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I got to go then.
Yeah, we got to get you out of here.
Oh, no. So you're gay. So that was one way. You're a sports gay, as they say.
Yes.
But grew up playing...
Grew up playing every sport. I'm originally from southeastern Connecticut, not to be confused with southwestern Connecticut. I'm from a very
different.
Very different.
What's the difference?
I'm from like a small rural town. Grew up.
Okay.
More cows than people in my town.
Gotcha.
My grandparents both had farms, so we like 4-H.
And what's
Kid.
the
I
other one?
love
Like
it.
fancy town?
Yeah.
So are you guys like rivals?
I think to be a rival, like your sports teams have to win ever.
Understood.
So like we weren't particularly well resourced.
Okay, what was your best sport?
Ooh, growing up, it was.
You look like an athlete.
Oh, thank you. Tell me more.
You have
yeah.
You have the full ass vibe.
Absolutely.
So people sometimes still say that, like what sport do you play? And I like the day that stops, like it's over for me. Like the day people stop being like, oh, did you play a sport? Like I'm packing it in. Like I won't go in public again.
I think that's totally fair.
I mean, as somebody who people ask me, did you do marching band? All the time. Clarinet?
Saxophone.
Are you first drum?
You're giving me a vibe, dude. You're giving me a vibe. Okay, marching band, but what position?
Yeah.
What were your sports?
I grew up playing soccer, basketball, softball.
Of course.
And then I know, so on brand. And then I played like every sport. Like it was such like with my younger brother, I'd make up sports in our yard, and like that was kind of like my jam. And then when I was going to high school, a couple friends started playing lacrosse, and because like the softball coach was like iffy, so started playing lacrosse my freshman year of high school. Fortunately, picked that up pretty quickly, and then I played Division I lacrosse in college, University of New Hampshire. Go Wildcats!
Ooh. D1 athlete, New Hampshire, live free or die, obsessed. That's their motto.
No, it is.
I know.
Yeah, and
it's your favorite motto.
It's
though.
my favorite motto.
It's good.
If I can find a way to bring up New
Live free or
Hampshire,
die.
live free or die,
You will.
I will.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my Wildcats are going to be so happy right now.
Go Cats.
I think that lacrosse is particularly fascinating. First of all, I find it terrifying. It's one of those sports that for some reason it just like really, really scares me.
It's
Ball too small,
brutal.
ball too hard.
No helmets.
Nope.
No, none at all.
When I started playing, I'm aging myself, there were soft boundaries, meaning you could like run out.
That's not what I have.
So you could like run. There was like the boundaries were a suggestion,
Wow.
and you could like run outside the boundaries. You didn't have goggles, like Wild Wild West.
Wow.
And skirts, right?
Skirts, big time, like plaid skirts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like little kilts.
Yes, they were killed.
They were kilts. My girlfriend in high school, she started playing lacrosse.
You're gay?
Oh no!
I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta get out.
My girlfriend in high school started playing lacrosse. She was like always a basketball player. Then she started playing lacrosse, and I was like funny enough that as a kid that I would be like kind of making jokes in the stands. This was, my girlfriend went to another school, which sounds suspicious, but she went to another school, and I would go watch her play lacrosse. And I was funny enough in the stands that one of they would like broadcast the games, and one of the parents was like, "Hey, you want to just get up there and just talk with the broadcasters,
Stop it.
do some jokes?"
Stop.
And I was like, "Yes." And so I got my first sports broadcasting gig when I was 16. And I didn't know anything about lacrosse. So it was just me sitting in the stands being like, damn, those sticks are fire.
Running fast. Running back and forth.
Ouchie, that looked like that hurt.
There's the net.
Hardball.
There's the net. Hardball too small. Does it hurt to get hit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I kind of miss the days of like having bruised up arms and like really feeling it. Really like
Sacrifice.
suffering a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that is like the pure athlete kink of it all. Is like you do like
Oh, I've had like a
miss
bunch
that.
of knee surgeries. I had an ankle surgery.
Mhm.
We haven't even gotten into it. Like I still play competitive flag football in a queer league. It's the best.
Oh my God, what a dream.
It's a dream.
Are you-
It's full contact. So like, yeah, it's tough. I mean, my first season, I broke my ankle.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, I rehabbed super hard. Back out there for.
Did you have a cast?
Not only that, this is actually, we call it the dark days in my household.
God.
My daughter was like 6 months old, just learning to crawl, and I was in a true splint for, I had surgery. I was in a true splint for 2 weeks. Then I was in an actual hard cast up to my knee. Like,
Woof.
do you know what it's like to have an adult cast?
I was about to say,
No.
adults in casts, fascinating. It's like adults in braces. Like it
That's
was
exactly what
I had a
was
scooter.
thinking.
yeah. There's a story.
Yes. I put
Every
a Supreme
adult's a cast story.
I put a Supreme sticker on it. I thought I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of sick.
it was like kind of cool.
Did you have people sign it?
So I like wanted to keep it clean because I thought it was like kind of weird.
I gotta keep it clean, and nobody get away from me with that Sharpie. I'm keeping it clean.
Wait,
Yes, all jokes aside, we're keeping it
We're
clean.
keeping it clean.
And then like the last week, I let like my nieces sign it. But
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a question for you that we have answered on the first episode of the pod.
Uh-huh.
What is a sports moment that made you gay? Or even if it wasn't made you gay, if you can't trace that one, you can tell us the one where you were like, it was the gayest thing ever, and it had to do with sports.
Oh God, this is a really tough question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Something that made me gay. I don't know. I think like I wasn't one of those kids that like knew I was gay.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't. But like 99ers, right? US Women's National Team 99ers. And like like some of these people are now colleagues.
Yes.
So but that was like crazy to me. I'm like, what am I feeling here, Brandy Chastain, with your
That was Tien.
That's
Tien
Tien's.
who's
Yeah.
not with us for this interview. That's her big moment was when
Yeah.
Granny ripped the jersey off.
and like I couldn't place that, right? But now in hindsight, I'm like, oh, the abs and like,
Yeah.
the black
Yeah.
bra, like, yeah, I'm with that.
Yeah.
Oh, the strength, all of it in that
Yes.
moment.
The powerful expression of joy.
Yes.
And just like the full-throated expression of like sport femininity.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think I say that because like sometimes things are overtly feminine, and like I call it like by men for women, which is like the pink it, shrink it, cursive, she believes of it all, you know? And like that can be dangerous. But when you present femininity and strength pretty unapologetically, like that is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess on the surface, we're seeing this like explosion of women's sports. Like now we're the Caitlin Clark effect. We're seeing so much interest in women's soccer. All of that is what we're seeing. But what do you feel has kind of been happening behind the scenes? Like, have you been tracking this? And like what have you seen? Like, it didn't happen overnight, obviously.
No.
We know that, but even deeper, what have you seen?
It's magic. Like, it's actual magic what's happening. And I say it's not a moment, it's a movement. And that's gotten real traction inside the walls of ESPN.
Hell yeah.
And what I call back to is a couple different things. I was at the NWSL in 2017. I never got one single inbound lead. And every single one of my calls was like education on what the league was and where the opportunity existed. And Angel City's expansion fee at the time was under $5 million. Do you know the most recent expansion fee for my great city of Boston? $53 million. And I think what we're seeing a couple things. We're seeing, of course, incredible rise in viewership, meaningful investment, further development of infrastructure. And I think, like, I'll share the story anecdotally. When I started at ESPN, I was fearful that I would be the only person in every room that was advocating for this. And like, I'm even careful when I use the word advocate. And like, I was wrong. There are so many people who have meaningfully believed in the product that is women's sport for an incredibly long time. And now they are given a greater runway, greater opportunity to develop this ecosystem. And we at ESPN, we are home to a tremendous amount of live rights. And, we just renewed our NCAA deal for the next 8 years. We're home to the WNBA. We have a portion of the NWSL rights, which we'll kick off very shortly. Super proud of that. And now we get to do more. And there's such an appetite. There's such an excitement. I think we have to continue to make experts out of our experts so people know the proper tone to leverage and use when talking about women's sports. But I think, you asked like what I am seeing, and everyone is truly beginning to recognize the business opportunity that exists.
Yeah.
It's not just the right thing to do. It's a great business.
There's money to be
Period.
made. There's so much money to be made.
And if we play this right, I said I bet the house on this, and I look at my wife on a very regular basis, and I'm like, holy shit, it's happening.
About to get a bigger house from this.
I mean, maybe one day, but full disclosure, my wife has been talking about like moving to the suburbs, and like I so badly don't want to move to the suburbs, and she came to me the other day. She's like, fine. We don't have to move to the suburbs if you get me a cat. And I was like, sold. Guess what we're getting next week? A cat.
Yay!
Oh!
Congratulations. You know what kind.
Maine Coon. Yeah.
Big boy.
Big boy.
Wow.
We're naming him Bodega Cat, too, because I think that's funny.
Oh, I like Bodega Cat. So big.
Yeah, I hope so. If I'm committing, I'm going all in.
Yeah.
I'm
wanna,
obsessed with that. Like, no, babe, I'm not only getting you a cat. I'm getting you the biggest fucking cat.
Yeah. I want people to see my cat and be like, that cat's an athlete.
Yes. What is your favorite part of your job?
I'm really lucky in my gig. I see the tangible impact of my role on a daily basis. And I think because women's sports is comprised of people who are inherently marginalized, whose lived experience, over 80% of the WNBA is Black and brown women. Nearly 30% of the league is comprised of queer people. So that lived experience is just inherently intersectional. It is inherently complex and oftentimes like under attack. So I think just by the nature of who is competing, by the nature of the lived experience of those competing, like you have to be creating a safe space. You have to be prioritizing progress and education. So I see that in the WNBA. I see that in the NWSL. So I think, like, again, I am a queer woman, but I'm a very palatable queer woman. And, like, I am aware of that privilege. So when I have an opportunity to further that education and lead from that position of privilege, I think it's my responsibility.
Women's sports is a group that's actually just inherently more welcoming than men's sports. And so we kind of have a duty and a responsibility to bring in as many people as we can and make them feel safe. And, I think all the time about how men's sports aren't having this conversation. They're not having to have this conversation about trans athletes constantly. And frankly, I think that should speak to how much more women, and the umbrella term that is women, are forced to reckon with morals and ethics on a daily basis simply because there's a lot more care in our community. Like women as this massive monolith have been on the underside of the shoe for so long that they know what it's like to feel left out and marginalized. And that's why it is the job, it is the role, it's the responsibility of women to welcome trans women, welcome non-binary people into the sport, not be yet another fence that everybody knows what it feels like to be discriminated against. Everybody in women's sports knows what it means to be discriminated against. Why would we do that to anybody else?
Thank you so much. This has been just one of the best conversations I've had in a very long time. But now we'd like to play a little game with you, if that's okay.
Let's do it.
All right, we're going to show you various sports, and the three of us are going to decide, is that sport gay, straight, or bisexual? All right.
MMA.
Gay.
Closeted.
Oh, I didn't know there was other options.
Well, there's not. If you feel something else come out, let's go.
Okay.
Golf. Gay.
Golf, straight.
I'm going bi.
Oh.
Yeah.
Meet in the middle. Okay.
Yeah.
Archery.
Oh.
Gay.
No, straight.
Gay.
Yeah.
Straight.
Figuring
Gay.
it out. They're figuring it out.
Yeah, I used to do it when I was like, I don't think I'm attracted to anybody.
So you're saying it's for
And you were like-
asexuals?
Asexuals.
Archery? I'm going to say archery is ace. Yeah.
I think archery is like we're figuring
figuring it
out.
out. Let me just
In
go
2
get my
years,
bow.
you'll be bi, and then yeah. Power
Power
slapping bi.
Oh, just like
Bye.
Bi.
And, God. It's a tough sport for me.
Oh, it's very, we are kind
It
of
could
obsessed
be
with it.
the
We're
sport-
not saying it's positive, but we're obsessed
We are
with it
obsessed
here.
with that.
I can't get enough of it. I think it's a purely negative thing for the world, and I love that.
Who do you want to be power slapped by?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, who do I want to be power slapped by? ER Fightmaster.
Oh, and that's been Jocular, baby.
Oh, I'm so moved. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us,
you,
Susie. This was
Susie.
a ball.
Thank
was
you.
awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Jocular. Get jocular.
We're back with Queer Madness. It's time to take this Sweet 16 down to the Elite 8.
Jocular presents
March Madness!
for queers.
We're just going to be putting these against each other and voting. And then whoever really feels strongly about it will argue, but feel like
Yeah.
good luck.
And just a reminder, we are pitting iconically queer moments against classically gay moments. If it doesn't make a lot of sense, it will once you start hearing them.
Okay.
Let's look at our 1 verse 16 matchup here.
Okay, let's hear
Okay.
it.
Flying across the country for a first date versus avoiding your ex at Dyke Day.
On the count of 3, let's say which team we're voting
Oh,
for.
yeah,
to
I
move
think so.
on.
I think so.
1, 2,
2,
3.
3.
Flying across the
Dyke
country
Day.
for a first date.
Avoiding your
Avoiding
ex.
ex at Dyke Day.
Which
your ex.
is iconically
Iconically
queer.
Yeah. Katie, did you want to?
Yeah, did you want to try to change our minds at all?
Well, I would just say flying across the country for a first date. A, I've done it. B,
Mhm.
it's a beautiful thing and it's love. And I think love is very special. And avoiding your ex at Dyke Day, I don't know. Flying across the country, it just feels like so fucking classic.
It is.
There's something very classic about it, but it also feels very 90 Day Fiancé to me, which is classic heterosexuality at its like
that's also
worst.
true.
Pardon? Are you saying that
that's
my
true.
relationship is built on
Katie,
On immigration laws, yes.
what?
Also, I will say that avoiding your ex on Dyke Day, it's just like it's dykes are all there. It's Dyke
Yeah.
Day. We've all dated each other.
Yeah.
We
I
know
get
each other
it.
exes.
I
That's
get
okay.
it.
It's
Okay.
not. It's nothing personal.
Nothing
to you and your
personal.
beautiful partner.
Okay, well, that's
Nothing
she's
personal.
gorgeous.
Yeah, she is.
Katie,
She's
do you
nothing
need to
personal.
take a lap.
No.
I don't have this written down.
Oh, okay. Tian, this is you. Really.
Oh, okay. Next up, we have swimming from Cuba to Florida. Really rooting for that one. Versus short sleeve button downs. On the count of 3.
One,
2, 3. Swimming
Short
from
sleeve
Florida
button
to
downs.
Florida.
Sorry,
Listen,
Tian.
you guys don't understand pushing the human body to its absolute limit where you're shitting and pissing in the ocean for 60 hours.
Bro, this
For
is not the
60
press we want.
hours.
This is
It's
not
really
the press
not.
the
And
gay
who
community
hasn't
wants.
pissed and shitted in? Who's not pissed and shitted in the ocean?
60 hours. Annette Bening, I'm so sorry.
And honestly, it feels a little straight. It feels a
Thank
little
you.
bit like the guy,
Oh
free
my
solo
God.
guy. Like it feels a little that.
Okay, I
Okay,
just
if you're
will,
gonna,
I
if
will
you're
say
gonna
about
pick,
the free solo guy, his hands do make me like wanna get fucking railed.
by those fingers,
Those hands?
I'm a
those
true
crater
dyke. I
hands?
love a big fucking mitt. They're the biggest mitts I've ever seen. It looks like he's suffering.
They're
His
full
hands
of
are so
calluses.
I know. Are they just like
Sorry.
thick calluses?
they're thick,
big. I'm a
calloused
size
hands.
king. What's up?
All
Okay,
right,
let's
up
move
next.
on. Ellen coming out versus Ellen getting canceled.
Mhm.
3, 2, 1. Ellen getting canceled. Wow.
I wanted Ellen coming out to win here because I actually think that the way in which Ellen had to come out is the reason why Ellen got canceled. I think it
Wow.
created so much pain and resentment that she turned around and hurt a lot of other people in her life. There's no excuse for it. And I do think that that's like a very classic queer story. But I understand, and I'm not going to fight harder for it.
Yeah, I like that.
I might
you
change my vote.
conceding. Oh, what? See, I like Ellen getting canceled because I feel like it shows how far we've come. It shows how far we've come that we can have a gay icon be mean and still get paid a lot
Okay,
and
that's
still get
progressive.
canceled. Now
Okay.
that's progress, baby.
Okay, Ellen getting canceled.
That's it. I told everyone we knew that we were gonna hurt each other on this, and it's just the way that it is.
And what are we going to hurt? Any connection with Ellen that we could ever have.
Yeah, that's out the window.
I don't think that there is room for that in Ellen's life right now.
Next up in our matchup, making a mixed CD for a quote unquote friend or versus tiny knit hats.
3,
2, 1. Tiny knit hats.
A universal. I think that the tiny knit hats are for the trans mass community. They're everything. They're a centerpiece.
I mean,
I think also shows progress.
I think it shows progress too.
And
I think it shows
are we just
progress.
gonna fucking say that for
Yes,
everything?
yes. I think being able to walk around with our ears exposed and our head covered shows progress.
Yeah.
Has anything classically gay won?
No, not yet.
Okay,
Jesus.
shit.
And
well,
that's
it's about
progress.
to.
Okay,
It's
okay.
about
Let's
to.
let's see.
Carol as a Christmas movie versus watching Blue is the Warmest Color after a breakup.
3,
2, 1. Carol as a Christmas movie.
A classically gay moment. I pitched that one.
It's beautiful.
It's just such an important
We saw it together
in Amsterdam.
in a theater in Amsterdam, and there were two little
Aw.
queers holding hands in front of us.
Wow.
And I tell you what, they cried because of that.
Oh.
I think we both ended up crying.
It's the only movie I've bought on Apple.
I will say.
I love that.
I bought it.
Shot in Cincinnati, Ohio.
I bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were like, I could point out, yeah, we both could.
And not only is it a Christmas movie, it's also like a road trip movie.
Oh, don't talk about the fucking road trip.
I'm sorry.
So,
I mean, it is a road trip movie.
Jesus
Yikes.
Christ.
There's a gun.
Tian, what are you doing? Okay.
I'm just saying. It's
There's a man named Harge.
yes. Marge, I forgot about Harge.
You forgot
Yeah.
like that Dyke wrote that, and so
And they were like,
huh, man, Harge, fuck you.
I'll name him after I'll name him after the sound of getting phlegm out of your throat.
I'll name him after ham and barges. Two things men like. Harge. Okay.
Next up,
Lesbian Longing in Portrait of a Lady on Fire. versus Horse Girls.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
Dude, this is a hard one.
This is a
Yeah,
hard one.
I know where I'm going.
I know
I
where I'm
know
going
where
to.
I'm
I know
going.
where I'm going
Oh
to.
my god.
Okay, ready?
3,
2,
1.
1.
Lesbian longing in the
Portrait
portrait
of
of
a Lady on Fire.
Yeah! Woo! I didn't think she could do it. I really didn't think she could do it.
Wow. I think the lesbian longing of it. I mean, lesbian longing itself would be without Portrait of a Lady on Fire involved. Lesbian longing itself is a contender for a number 1 spot. You know what I mean?
100%.
So it's Portrait of a Lady on Fire is almost working here as like an injury.
Yeah. And I will say that my favorite part of that movie is where the one is painting the other and the one is naked and then there's just a little mirror right where her crotch is.
Yeah.
And then it's a reverse camera shot of her reflection in the crotch. Do you remember this?
That's so sad though. I was just thinking about like if I was with my gal and I was like painting her and then I got down and I just saw my fucking stupid face for her pussy
I would
nose.
not be happy.
I
would not be
so
happy.
mad.
I would not be happy. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay, next to Bet and Tina versus Tessa Thompson, Lupita Nyong'o, and Janelle Monáe in the same room.
It's just I know we made this bracket and I'm like
I'm kind of pissed.
pissed.
I'm pissed, but
Yeah.
I think I know what I want.
I know what I have to do here.
I think I know what I want.
3, 2, 1. Bet
Tessa
and Tina.
Thompson. Fuck me.
No, I want you to know I wanted to say that. That's the room that I want to watch. That's the room I want to be in. And it's hard to argue that there's anything more
I know.
iconic in lesbian I'm calling it cinema. In lesbian TV.
What
And
the
lesbian
hell word is
anything.
lesbian
It is.
It
Somehow
is.
it's
It
lesbian
is.
Yeah.
It is.
If
than
we-
Bet and Tina.
If lesbians had Criterion Collection, the L word would be number 1.
Yes.
I think when I was looking at these two teams entering the tournament, yes, I want to be in that room, but it's almost so magical I can't picture it.
Can't
And
take
like
it.
all I can
Of course.
see is Bet and Tina walking around that house, walking around that kitchen island. Like I
Yes.
can just see them just like kind of like Harry, just like like I
Yes.
see it so strongly in my core
Yeah.
that it was like my body had no other choice.
I remember their fight so much that sometimes when I get angry, I just go,
Oh my god.
so I get it. Okay, so for Queer Madness, our last matchup, as someone who's played a lesbian on TV versus Don't Say Gay PSA.
This one for me is so easy.
Okay.
And I know it's
Honestly,
not
me
for you.
too, and it's
Oh,
not gonna be
no.
what you like.
Okay, ready?
3, 2, 1.
As
Don't
someone who's
say
played a
gay.
lesbian
I
Juliana Margulies!
I want to
Zero
apologize.
chemistry in the morning show.
There's no chemistry. None. It's insane.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And I love it. I've seen every episode. I love the morning show. Honest to God, love the show.
I'm sorry. I want to say it's iconically queer because it represents how far we still need to go.
Yes, it does. Okay, if we're talking about progress,
I'm not talking about progress.
We're always talking
I'm not
about
talking about progress. I'm tired of talking about progress.
that's how the queer community is talking about progress.
You know what? If we're talking about progress, the thing that Don't Say Gay is, and I have to get this out. It's so important. Now, when I'm fucking with straight people, I'll straight up go, "That's so gay," and then I go in the bad way, right? And I just stare at them, and the only reason they're like, "Oh, they get all nervous is because of this PSA."
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Hillary Duff allowed us to bully straight people, but you guys want to root for a joke. It's sick.
Sorry.
I did.
I'm
I
not
did.
changing my vote.
Not changing my vote on
As
this.
someone who's played a lesbian on TV,
As someone who's played a lesbian on TV.
I
I'll
wish
get
we
over
had
it.
a clip of her saying it, even though it was like a written article.
I think it's an article and I think it's wild and we don't need it because it's bad, but
no,
I
it
just
is
love
bad.
it.
It's bad.
I just love it.
It's bad.
It's bad.
But I love it. So what does that bring our
Well,
Elite
luckily,
Eight to?
I'm gonna say this. Like, luckily, for the audience that feels the same way I do, Plays a Les on TV is about to get knocked the fuck out
Bye.
because in the Elite Eight, Plays a Les on TV is verse Bet and Tina.
Oh. Yeah, can you read down our Elite Eight here as
Yes.
to let our audience know what we'll be talking about?
Moving
I like-
on to the Elite Eight, and now in a battle for a Final Four position. Avoid your ex at Dyke Day versus short sleeve button ups. Holy cow,
Oh,
folks.
that's really intense.
Ellen getting canceled versus tiny knit hats. Incredible. Carol as a Christmas movie versus Lesbian Longing and Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Oh,
Holy cow.
I didn't even think about it.
Bet and Tina versus Plays a Lesbian on TV.
As someone who
As
plays
someone-
as someone
who plays a lesbian on TV.
Thank you.
And we need you to go to wherever you follow us, and we need you to vote. We need to really see your opinions in the comments because it's getting hard, you guys.
It's getting really hard.
really hard.
All right, y'all. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We love you.
We love you. Jocular is a production of Hyperobject Industries with Meadowlark Media and was produced by Zaylee Mahone and Haley Fager. Original music and theme are by Nick Gage and ER Fightmaster. Dan Gallucci is our engineer, and our executive producers are Harry Nelson, Claire Slaughter, Dan Lebitard, and Adam McKay.
Service. Here, working. Jocular. We're about to get jocular.